Are we ready?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool.
that's true.
Damn,
Manel hadn't spoken yet, but there she is.
I'm out of fucking breath. My gosh. Overall, I really like the book. It is the original Hunger Games. It's
Yeah,
so crazy, but I feel like it's like not a novel concept, if that makes sense. I don't know if I use that in the right context. But we've heard of like this type of thing happening before. It's just like crazy that they want to put fucking middle school kids in this shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just insane. Overall, I really like it. It's grotesque and
yeah.
weird, but like great. Like I was physically cringing when she gouged his eyeballs out. I was
That
like,
was
oh my
freaking
god.
awesome. That
I
was
was like,
freaking awesome. That was horrible,
and like
man.
the best part about this for me, and this is very specific to me, is I'm imagining everybody in like the Kill Bill-esque Japanese schoolgirl outfit, all the
That's
women
that
and all the
that is
boys in the
pretty
same.
much what they're supposed to be in. Yeah,
And I love that
the
because I
sailor
love
suits,
Kill Bill
right?
and all of that. So that's like a ton of fun. I really like it. I really like it. I don't know how I feel about them being middle schoolers. I wonder if I would like it more if they were high schoolers, only because
Hmm.
I don't know if as middle schoolers could you like discern if you really want to like go through with that.
Hmm.
But you're also a little bit more uh yeah, your frontal lobe is way less developed maybe, so you could. But I don't know. I just feel like middle schoolers would be way too scared to do any of the things that they're doing. So I don't know. That for me that's like a little bit like I wonder. Um Overall, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really can't tell the difference between all the characters. All their
I
names kind of sound the same to me.
it. Yep. And you can't knock the book for that, but I am heavily struggling with that too. Like
Yeah,
it's
like,
just
the names are way too fucking similar. I don't know which
right.
character is which, so I'm not gonna even lie to you guys about that. But overall, I really like it. I like the storyline between the kid. I'm calling them Soju and Yakima. I don't fucking know their names. Um, I
Wait, wait, but who's that? I don't even.
the guy who's the story's about,
Shuya.
the main
Okay,
guy.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Shuya,
yeah.
Shuya, that's
Got it.
Soju. Anyways,
Got it.
Shuya, I like his storyline and all of that, and I like how he's like teaming up with the other guy. I do feel like the other guy's just gonna fucking stab him in the back in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, the whole like middle schooler thing. But I guess that's the kind of courage you have as a middle schooler, thinking that you're gonna like fucking take everything down and fuck the government. Like as a middle schooler, I don't know if I would have been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get out of this alive and I'm gonna fuck everybody up. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I agree with that. Um, but overall, yeah, really like it. It's really interesting. It's scary. It's weird. I don't know what I would do in that situation. These kids are fucking insane. And I like all their backstories. I think all of the backstories are really fun
That helps
too.
a lot.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that too.
And like that fucking kid, like, did he really want to rape her? Like he's a fucking middle schooler. Do you know what I mean? Like to me, like that's just I don't feel like I don't know. Anyways, like that whole thing was weird. And then all the weird fucking kids. What the hell is that? Oh, all the weird kids are like really into it and they're just like fucking killing people left and right. Like, it doesn't seem like a ton of them really wanna help each other out, like, some of them are just like, "You know, fuck it. Hell yeah, let's do this," and it's just, like, terrifying to think, you know? Anyways, so yeah.
Cool. Manel, you want to go or should I?
Um, yeah, okay, I can go. Let me pull up my notes.
Nice.
But yeah, I agree with everything Julia said. I'm enjoying it too so far. I'm heavily invested and I want to see how it plays out. I do have two complaints, but it's not major issues. Number one is, do you guys notice that there's like a sense of almost flatness with the writing, as in like,
Yes.
okay, so
I
I'm
think
not
it's the
blaming.
I
translation,
thought it was
if I
because
had
of
to
the
guess.
Yes,
translation.
yeah,
Yeah.
He
exactly.
chalked it up to the translation.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to chalk it up to the translation because I noticed that with the other books that I've read also that are translations. So I don't really blame this book for it, but I do
Yeah.
notice that
And
and
I
it
think it's
feels so
especially
flat.
bad when it comes from Japanese, because like Japanese, if
Yeah.
you do like a faithful translation, Japanese always sounds flat. That's how it is with animes too. Like
Yeah.
you can only punch it up if you like inject crap into the story, which like we don't really want that. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
The second one is, I don't know whether you guys feel it too, but for me, this book is not very emotionally charged, and I think that's my fault for kind of drawing comparisons with the Hunger Games because you know how the Hunger Games start with her and Gail, and they already had mentioned her relationship with her dead dad and her mom, and then how she kind of takes Prim's place, so that you know we go into the story with that already in. Here, I feel like the guys are not so emotional. I don't know. Is that just me? It feels very like, oh, we've been put in this arena. We got to kill each other. I guess we'll just
No.
do it then. Is it just me?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't understand it as like middle schoolers. They don't have more emotions about what the fuck is going on. That's
Yeah.
the way I feel. I'm like they just seem like okay, yeah, let's just fucking do it. And then some of them are like, I want to team up, but like there's nothing there. And then to your point, the only emotional thing that they all have in common or that they've fucking talked about is apparently right before their death they all want to ask who's their fucking crush. And that is the most middle school thing that I've ever heard. So that was
Yeah.
accurate.
That was my next point. I was like, it's so interesting. Like in the middle of all of this, they still have time to talk about their crushes.
Their
But I think
crushes.
like I mean you're gonna die, so like why not talk about something mundane anyway. I also agree with Julia that I can't keep up with the names. Like if it's like a K-drama and it's like 6 names, I can handle that. But with like what almost
Freaking
40
40
names,
something.
40
Yeah,
plus
Yes.
that's
names,
it's like
it's
Yes.
like
beyond our
okay.
skill.
Yeah. So am I racist or is it just because these are
Oh
not
my
names
god.
I hear
Thank
on a
God
Probably
daily
somebody said
both.
basis?
it. That's how I was feeling. I was like, fuck. And then, okay, so sorry, man, to interrupt you. I know that I'm bad.
Oh,
But
go
I thought
ahead.
the same exact thing. I was like, am I fucking racist? And I said, okay, well, if this was an American book, like, what would the names fucking. I had to be like, well, if this was an American book, what would the names sound like? And then I had to think about it. I was like, okay, well, Darren Caballero, Manel Weinman. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
they're
I
different.
think I think it's like less racism and more like that we're just not inundated in like Japanese culture and the language, cuz like I'm sure to them these names sound very varied and stuff, and they'd probably look at our names and go like, "Oh, those all look the same." You know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah.
yeah, from our perspective, they feel super similar, and it's not even like really true. Like if you like look at all of them together, like there's differences there, but they all just sound Japanese, right? So like you just sort
Yeah.
of mush them all together. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
But the best friends, Yumiko and Yukiko,
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
similar.
that's
They even
true.
said that it's similar.
That's very true.
And then like Soju and the guy he's with, they're both like Yoshi and it's Yoshi and
Shui,
Soju in my head. I
Shui
don't
and
fucking know.
Soju.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
to your point about Soju trying to take the government down, he is 2 years older, right? So like, I can give him a bit grace there because
He's a
he is older than
And
freshman.
me.
he's been through a lot, I guess.
Yeah,
That's fair. And his dad's a doctor. I don't know. So that him I get.
yeah,
The rest of them, I don't know.
yeah. But I want to see how it plays out because like these kids, I feel like to them it's just like a regular game. I don't feel like how I did when I read The Hunger Games. Like I was terrified reading The Hunger Games, but at the time that was like a novel concept to me because I had not read this book. But of course, this
Sure.
is the first book, so I can't really do a fair comparison. But yeah, that's about it.
So
Okay.
and can you edit this out? I don't know
What?
if it's like
Oh,
me being I said, can you edit this out?
nope, but
Bleep
go
it.
for it. I don't know how to do
I
that.
don't know if it's like me being racist, but every fucking book that we've read that's like set in like Japanese or like Asian culture, I'm like, fuck no. Them bitches are crazy as hell. There's always a dictatorship. Everybody's always fucking dying. And there's like, fuck with this shit. Like, what's going on? Yeah, three body problem, almond, this one.
Oh,
I swear
yeah,
to God, every
that's
fucking
true.
Japanese book or like Asian setting, like book we've read, there's always some crazy shit going on. So I don't know what the authors are going through over there, but
Yeah,
yeah.
fair.
Fair.
let me see. What do I have that you guys didn't already say? Yeah, the translation is kind of rough, but I'm just sort of like I'm trying my best not to hold it against the book. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we definitely don't have like cool language or vocab or cool turns of phrase or anything.
We're not going
It's
that way.
just it's very
Yeah.
just it is what it is. Although at the same time, it's I guess to its credit, it's amazing how compelling it is, despite how flat the language is, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't really need flowery language to like make something this horrible be any more horrible. I guess like it's our
Yeah.
even just talking about these deaths like in a very clinical way is already like pretty terrifying. Um, I think I'm trying my best not to compare it to Hunger Games because the thing is we're supposed to be comparing the Hunger Games to this, right? Like
So this.
this is the granddaddy, and I think that that's like an amazing concept, and for this being like so old, like I'm just it really is like super damn good. To the point about like the emotionally charged stuff, I think like you're right, but at the same time, I think what's let me see.
You
So
bet. You bet.
I feel. Oh, were you talking? What?
No, I'm talking to Dexter. Sorry.
Oh, got it. You're good. Like I think that I think that the setups for both books are like good, but I actually kind of am digging the way this one is playing out more because with the Hunger Games, you did all of that character development first, and then you went into like the crazy part. It was like like the second act, and this one
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
sort of like shoves you right in. But what I'm finding is I'm getting more emotionally invested in the characters as time is going on instead of having it like front loaded. And are you okay?
Oh my god, sorry guys, sorry.
Is it
It's
something
really
Dex?
windy and Dexter's
Oh.
pooping and it's like flying away.
Oh god. That's
Oh,
horrifying.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Flying out of his asshole. I'm so
Perfect.
sorry. Okay.
Is it really
Sorry.
that I actually got
Yes, it's windy.
I got another stupid notification saying that they might turn off my power again tomorrow. So I guess the winds are picking back up. That's freaking crazy. Um so yeah, I think cuz I also do remember with the Hunger Games like the build up was I didn't I like the build up phase while I liked all the character development. It's like when I think about the Hunger Games, the best part of it was like at the end, or like it was like once she was in there, and I kind of like that this book is just all them in there, and we're learning about them as they go, and it's also giving me this vibe of like I'm kind of surprised at it, where like when the book first started out, and especially with all the freaking names, and I'm like confused as hell, and like the flat translation and everything we're talking about. I felt like kind of like maybe mid about the story. Like maybe I felt like it was making a like I felt like like at the very beginning it was going to be like a 2, and then as time's going on, it's just slowly ramping up and up and up, and I think it's just going to keep being that way. And I like that about it. I like that the longer it goes, it's sort of like the better it's getting, which I think is like exactly how a battle royale should be. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Like a lot of it's crazy to me that like and again like this just being like so old, but like a lot of like the tactics, a lot of the things that are happening, a lot of like the like the way people die and the way people are getting tricked and getting lured into things and blah blah blah. They're like things that play out in battle royales in video games. And like the first battle royale in video game was PUBG. I think that came out in like 2016. And I'm just thinking like the foresight that it took, because like these interactions, they don't happen in these games because the programmers have made it so. It's just that that's what real people do when playing a game in a battle royale setting. And it's this
oh,
exact same concept. You're on a big island, and then it slowly starts shrinking, and you're forced to
Doesn't
move into different
Fortnite do
ways.
Battle Royale too?
Yeah, Fortnite was like the second huge one. Call of Duty Warzone, like all of those. But like so for instance, what was the name? Takako
oh, okay.
and then Kazushi fight. That was the one where she gouged the eyes out. total, like, that happens all the freaking time, and it sucks. That's called being third partied. Like, that's what it's called in the gaming world, when like you have this crazy battle, you barely win, and then some bitch shows up and like and shoots you once and you're dead. And I was like,
Oh,
dang, she got third partied. And I was like, how is this dude writing about third partying in 1999? I freaking love
1990.
that. That is so cool. And it's like a bunch of stuff like that, like the I don't even know.
That pissed me off too. I'll talk about that later, but I'm making a point.
Dude, that was heartbreaking, because like when she won, like I wanted her to like rally and like somehow be
Yeah.
okay, and then like
Like,
dying in the guy's arms, like that was and that's kind of what I mean. Like that was actually like pretty dang emotionally charged, and it felt a lot different from the beginning of the book. Like I feel like I'm getting more of that as time is going on, and it's like surprising me, and I don't even really understand why. I don't know if it's just like I'm finally getting more comfortable with how it's written and stuff, and so I'm feeling it more, or it's actually like coming out more. I don't really know. But I am digging it a lot, and I am super interested in reading the Hunger Games again after reading this, because I'm like, dang, it's crazy how much of an homage Hunger Games is to this. Even with the
yeah.
announcement happening and them like
Yes.
announcing who's dead, like there's so many like crazy similarities between the two. Yeah. Oh, and then one other thing I was gonna say too, that like I think that again, the Hunger Games formula is good too. Like it's awesome that you get to know Katniss so much. But I remember when I first read it, and then when I watched the movie, kind of like a disconnect is like in the movie they tried to like give a little bit more backstory to some of the other competitors, where like in the book it was so from her perspective. A lot of those other names, they were just names on a board and then they died. Do you know what I mean? Like in the Hunger Games, like the actual book, you know her, you know Rue, and like a couple of others, and that's kind of like about it. Otherwise it's just like a bunch of her guesses. um
mhm.
in this book, I kind of like that we're getting to know everybody. We're getting to know the psychopaths. We're getting to know the good guys. We're getting to know multiple factions of good guys. I think that's like a pretty interesting setup. I don't think it's necessarily good or like better or worse than the way the Hunger Games did it, but I think it works well for something like this, and I'm enjoying it.
As a complete side note, one of my neighbors has their trunk open.
Ooh.
Should I like ring their doorbell and let them know? Like, there's nothing in it, but
Yeah, maybe. And you definitely don't want to just close
Oh,
it on them, because that would be the worst if an alarm goes off. That'd be a nightmare. I probably would. I don't know. It's kind of late. That's kind of weird. Actually, with the windy night, I probably would do that. Oh, another thing I have written down. How about when is his name Sakamochi, the main bad guy or whatever?
oh yeah.
When he calls the girl back to make her phone ring just to screw with her, I was like, dude, that's so messed up. Like what? I think her name was Megumi. That was hilarious and horrible.
can you guys
Um,
hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Did it work out? Did you get him?
I just rang it, and then when people have rings, I just talk to the ring doorbell and I leave
Oh,
in hopes that they
yeah,
they see
yeah.
it. And if they don't, because ours doesn't work, I don't
I
fucking
feel
know.
like at that
I'm
point you're
sure.
putting in your due diligence. That's like a way to like, yeah, I'm cool. I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that.
Question:
Okay.
do we know why these games are happening? Because like I know they explained it, but it wasn't like as good of an explanation.
Right. I'm still a little bit confused.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I feel like little bits and pieces are coming as we go. So maybe like we're intended to learn as we go. But I agree.
Okay.
Right now, I'm like, I don't get it.
Okay.
Because that
I
was
don't either.
much better defined in Hunger Games. And to me, I have a feeling that it's basically the same idea, basically to just like rule the people out of fear, but they're not
Mhm.
saying it, and so to assume that is a little bit weird.
Okay.
I thought it
Yeah.
was definitely like a one child type of thing. Like you have to like because they keep
Oh,
talking about the dictator and shit. To me, it's very much like the Chinese Revolution, the Cultural Revolution type of shit.
But they
that's
also
interesting.
mentioned a dwindling youth population. So if it's dwindling, why are you killing
Why are
off
they
more
killing them
people?
Oh,
off?
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, the guy says to his superior, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just doing my part to the." Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah. I think that the other thing that's cool is I guess it's Shinji and his friend, like the computer hacker guy.
Ooh.
That's a very interesting. I don't know what to think about it, but that's like pretty cool. And to me, what's weird about it is like based on what I know of like computers, it's like if this was happening today and someone just had some random Mac laptop and they start like hacking the government, that sounds stupid to me. But in 1999, it's like way more feasible. Like way back in the day, like I even did a little like minor hacking into like my school stuff. Like there just security didn't exist back then. And so like the concept of like a kid like this being able to break into things is not that crazy. So I dig it. I don't know what the hell is going to come of it, but I dig it. It's making me question because I keep picturing this book just ending with two people facing off and then one of them dies and that's it. But with that going on, I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe something else happens. Who knows? My other general prediction is that it is going to be everybody's dead. It's going to be the guy and the girl, Nariko and Shuya and Shogo, and then Shogo's grand plan for like releasing everybody is like once he gets them to that point and they're saved, he's just going to off himself and say like, okay, you guys decide. I think that's my other like really sad prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
Oh, he betrays them all, and he's like a what's it called?
I don't know. I get more the vibe. Well, I don't know. Like you're probably you probably right too, because there's plenty of reason to like kind of like not trust him. But I kind of get this vibe that like he knows how this thing really goes, and there's only one way out, and he doesn't want to get
Yeah.
out again. Because in my mind, if you had to live through this twice, I'm not even sure if you'd want to live anymore. But maybe that's too advanced of a thought for like a 16-year-old or however old he is. But that's yeah. But I don't really know. I'm just making that up. I have actually seen this movie, but oh oh, Julia, you're there. Manel, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. You still there?
Have you guys heard me at all?
You
I've been like talking.
you haven't
No.
said anything to us like from our vantage point. You haven't said anything in about a minute or two. No.
Okay, no, I was talking.
Oh, what were you saying?
I was saying that I was so sad when Shoju's, I don't know his name, the hacker, like when they could hear him and they like
Oh,
intercepted his computer because I was really rooting for him, you know what I mean?
right.
So that kind of like pissed me off. And
I thought
then
I
I
thought
had
it was really cool though that how he figured it out. Like because in
yeah.
his mind, like I know this should be
Oh
working. The only way that they would know is if they can hear us right now. That was pretty
yeah.
cool. But yeah, I agree. That sucked. That sucked.
I also thought it was like funny how they were talking to each other and he couldn't spell like the whole literacy thing. That was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
funny
yeah,
too.
yeah. And he kept like asking himself, or is it ensign, or is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That was cool.
And then
Agreed.
the last thing I said was like, I do totally agree with you that the longer this book goes, it's like way better. And I think it's because like we're just killing people off, so you get to really like see
Right.
what's going on more. And
Yeah.
it
And
was funny to and go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
And like the funniest thing out of all of this was the type of fucking weapons they gave them. The guy
Dude,
with the
I love it.
fork,
I freaking love it.
I'd be so pissed off.
I kind of like maybe it's just from me playing all these games, but like I kind of like that concept more than them putting all the weapons in the center for the Hunger Games cuz
That's
like
true.
I like the idea of like a relatively weak person getting like an AK-47 and all of a sudden they're kind of strong, or a really strong
Yeah.
person having a fork and they might die in the you know what I'm saying, like I kind of dig that. I never even thought of that until I read this, but now I'm like questioning how I like all the weapons in the center in the Hunger Games. Actually, yeah, that's pretty cool.
But for the Hunger Games, it was more for the purpose of entertainment, right? Because people were actually
That's
watching the
true.
every
That's
movie.
true. And they needed like the series premiere to be really bloody.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
you right. You right. Yeah, true. True. And yeah, if this is and if no one's watching this, why would you do all this in secret? It is quite
Mm.
weird. My other slight like conspiracy theory thought that I had was like maybe they like, and now this is broken, so this, I don't think this works anymore because now we know Shoga has already been through one of these, but I thought that maybe this was some kind of like crazy like military recruitment thing, and like the winner ends up being like a super spy that like goes and kills everybody, you know what I'm saying? um but seeing that Shoga just went back into society, like I really don't, I don't really get it. I don't understand what the, but people I guess at least know about this, so I guess it is still maybe probably out of the fear concept. But I guess the implementation of in the Hunger Games makes way more sense. If you wanted to like freak out your country or whatever, you should probably
Mhm.
televise it like that.
I agree.
Oh, about so like, I guess, well, I said this originally, but then you were talking about how like it's like ramping up in like goodness or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I uh I in terms of that ramp up, I find that ramp up to be like way more consistent and strong with this book than what I remember of the Hunger Games. And the Hunger Games was quite good, but I don't remember, because I think the reasons for why this book are ramping up are like very like multifaceted, and I think that the Hunger Games was lacking that somewhat, because as the games went on, because it was just her alone and you don't know what else is going on with anybody else, it's sort of like there's almost like a like a boring aspect, boring in the same way that say like Castaway is boring, which that's like a great movie. Like it was still like good, but I think I just really love the fact that this is seeing all these different vantage points and perspectives, because doing it in that way as things heat up, it's like it's just getting kind of crazy, and I'm like really looking forward to reading more. And so much has already happened. I can't believe we have a whole other half book left. It's gonna be dope.
It went fast too.
Yeah, it's a long book.
It has gone fast. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a really long book, huh?
All right, is that about it? Any other
I
big
think so.
thoughts? I think I'm done. Let me see.
That's it for this book, but I just have one thing to say. Onyx Storm. Like, what the heck? Why is
Oh my
everyone going
god, you
crazy?
guys. Manel,
I
have you
I
seen it on TikTok?
I have seen all
These
the
bitches
videos.
are
People are
insane.
literally crying and they're starting catfights at Target trying to get this book. Like, it's not that serious, is
and like to your
These
point,
bitches
I
are insane.
it? Yes.
I was actually just about to stop the recording, but I think this is a good Easter egg. Like I like, to even to your point, Manel, of like the reason why they like it because it has hot people and there's spice. Like all of
Yeah.
the good fantasies have hot people and spice. I still don't understand. Like I don't
Mm.
understand. Like what, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's just other books that are way more worthy of people freaking out like this.
And
But
like
Yeah.
maybe
grown ass woman, like, do you
I
not have
know that's
anything
the other
else
weird thing too.
to worry
Yeah.
about in life than a special edition Target of Onyx
And like
Storm?
crying and
Like,
stuff, that was so
fucking
pathetic. Like
weird.
I just
So fucking weird. And she's like, I know. And the caption was just like, I know that this is so dumb. Like, yeah, bitch.
It
Like,
is down.
really? Read the room. And I'd be so fucking mad if I was, you know what? And I am such a petty ass bitch. If I knew those kind of, if I knew those kinds of women were, and I worked at Target and those kinds of women were coming in, I'd fucking hide the books. I'd hide the fucking books. I know I would.
like, we're all out. Sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
no, sorry, I
sorry.
don't know what happened. Like, anyways, yeah, they're going crazy. Like, people are going crazy over it, and I don't know if they're like that good of a fucking book. Like, they're literally not that good of a book. Like, a good of a series.
I
And
mean,
it's
the
Yeah.
like
first
not
book
not it's like
started
it's not a
strong.
new concept either. Dragons, then like
Right.
Academy, like okay.
Right.
Watch How to Train a Dragon, bitch. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going crazy. They're going
Fair.
crazy, crazy. What have you seen, Manal? The same thing?
I've pretty much seen the same thing, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I just finished Onyx Storm in one day." I'm like, "Good for you, good for you." Mostly so that I don't come across any spoilers, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, like this is the best book ever." Really, really? I don't
There's
think
no
so.
way.
Nah, they're really not though. And then like I watched a recap and it was like coming back to me. And then like all this stupid shit was also I like so aggressive with a knife in my hand. All this stupid shit was also coming back to me about like the non-consensual like brain thoughts Remember when she
Oh,
went in his bro
yeah. I
There
forgot
was a
about
lot of
that.
stupid stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, "No, no, not
It ain't.
today. This is
It's
not
just. It
worth it to
just
me."
ain't it. Like I don't.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
So, who knows?
But we're still gonna read it, right?
Oh,
Probably.
100%. Yeah, we're definitely gonna read it.
We're gonna read it, but
But it's
like
gonna be
I don't.
mid. It's gonna be like a 3-star, like at most, I think.
Yeah, no. The only books that I think are deserving of that kind of behavior was when Twilight came out back in like 2008, and that was it. That was the end
Hmm.
of it. After that, nothing else.
And
Because that was something new. You know what I mean? Like that's when I feel like the reading became. I feel like there was a lull like after Harry Potter and in between Twilight, and then like Twilight made reading cool again, and like it was fair for that.
Yeah.
now let
I
me ask you
remember.
guys this: are there because I think another part of that too was like your age when Twilight came out, right? Like it was like this like
It's on me
it
old.
do you see that going on with these books, or is it like all like 30s
They're
women?
older women.
I
They
don't
are
get it.
older women.
I don't
I
get
Oh,
it
you know
think
all.
what?
they
They're
are
Like
the
I
probably
Twilight
Twilight
crowd.
fans.
They are the
hmm,
Twilight crowd that's trying to relive their Twilight days.
Yeah.
This
okay.
book.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's just like not that serious. Like honestly, you guys, like we have read so many books, so many better books. Like I don't get it. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't get it. Like I really don't. And
I think
also sorry, you got me riled up. Um I truly don't believe that it's a good book either because of the time frame that she turned it out. You mean to tell me you
way
could do
too
that shit in
fast.
less than a
Yeah,
fucking year?
I
Three of
agree.
amazing books in like 2 years? I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Probably like mostly
That's like
AI
my theory too.
written.
I was like, okay, I want to read spoilers. No.
Vague not totally. I guess I'll stop the recording now.